Mm, Welcome back, students. A warm welcome to the last session on boredom, fatigue, and accidents. So, this is very important. These are very important concepts that you have to know as an engineer in an industrial setup. So, let us start with boredom. What is boredom? We usually use this word called bored, but what does it mean? You should be knowing it. So, boredom is probably a common feeling, it's an emotion. Boredom may occur when you feel energetic but have no way to direct your energy. Boredom may occur when you have difficulty focusing on a task. It is marked by an empty as well as a sense of frustration with that emptiness. So, boredom is nothing but an emotion which an individual feels when he finds that he has the energy but there is no proper direction to use that energy. Therefore, boredom is a cause of reduction of productivity. So when employees feel bored, then it means that there is problem with the system of your organization, and therefore the productivity may decrease. So let us know what are the causes of boredom. There are various causes of boredom like inadequate rest or nutrition, low level of mental stimulation, lack of choice or control over daily activities, poor perception of time, repetition of the activity for too long time, work task, work environment. So therefore, boredom interferes with your ability to complete necessary tasks or hampering quality of life. Boredom has largely negative consequences, like it may lead to absenteeism and also it may lead to some kind of accidents. So these are the various factors that causes boredom. That first one is rest. Rest is important for an individual. If there is inadequate rest, then he will feel bored. Then mental motivation is important, and there should be control of the activities, what you are doing and what is required and what is not. And time management is also an important aspect to be understood to avoid boredom. And the same task doing it multiple times creates boring environment. Work task should be uh, done so that there should be a kind of enthusiasm or motivation, and the work environment should be congenial enough to avoid boredom. Next, employees feel boredom. When do employees feel bored? When the employees feel bored when they find the job is too repetitive. That is, there is monotonous work task that an employee is doing. So he feels very much bored. When he feels whatever work he is doing is just a waste of time. When he doesn't know the significance of the job, then he is then he feels that he's wasting time. When he's not being challenged to do some great work or something which is challenging higher than what he is doing, then he might feel bored, not feeling engaged. People do work, they want to be engaged. They are social, people are social animals, so they want to be engaged with the organization, with the co-workers, with the supervisors, with the subordinates. So therefore, if there is a feeling that they are not engaged, then they might feel bored. The next one is being respected. So when the work you are doing is not being respected, when you are not being respected, then definitely the employee will feel bored. And when employee's contribution does not matter, each and every employee in an organization should be felt that whatever he is contributing, even if it is a security guard or if it is a housekeeping staff, he or she should be uh, knowing that he is contributing something to the organization. If that feeling is missing, then there will be boredom among employees. An employee feels that his skill set is being misapplied. Whatever he is expert in, if that work is not being given, and the work which he is not interested in, if that work is given, then he will be feeling bored. So these are the various ways how employees feel bored. Now, what are the consequences of boredom? What will happen if an employee feels bored? There will be effect on performance. Yes, the personal productivity of the employee will be reduced. the organizational productivity will also decrease, the departmental productivity will also decrease, and there will be dysfunctional response. Okay, there will be response and the problem will be there will be job dissatisfaction among employees. There will be a kind of absenteeism in employees without any reason. They doesn't want to come to work in spite of their salaries being deducted or wages being deducted. They find it very disinterested to come and work for the organization. Negative affective status, it creates an environment where the negative feeling will be spreaded. Okay, so all the employees or workers will have a negative kind of feeling towards the organization if they are bored, and there could be a mental health issues because of boredom. So these are the various consequences of boredom, but however there are few strategies to overcome boredom. Like for example, here you should involve your team. So looking here, they have various ways how to strategize and reduce boredom. So first one is involve your team. If it's applicable, let employees participate in brainstorming sessions and involve them in decision making. They think of projects that they can collaborate, they can think deeply about it. This not only helps the employees but can also give your company innovative ideas. Second one is automate menial tasks. Free the employees from boring tasks. Let them fax faster using internet fax, or provide them with gadgets and other devices or technology that makes their work efficient and on time. Don't tie them up with work that can get done by just anyone. Maximize their skills for more challenging tasks. Communicate. Create quarterly surveys or annual surveys or half yearly surveys to help evaluate employee engagement. Encourage suggestions and feedback that would employees feel more energetic while on the job. Sometimes the simplest fix is to engage your employees in conversation. Encourage a healthy lifestyle. Give employees some time to get a breath of fresh air. It's better to have offices with windows to let the sun and air stream through sometimes. If you can offer healthier lunches, do so. Fruits, vegetables, and greens will help employees feel less bloated. Some offices also give employees free gym passes or gym facility or recreation facilities to the employees. So this can also encourage the healthy lifestyle and remove boredom from the work life and workplace. Provide training. Aside from giving employees skills training in their present jobs, give them seminars and workshops in other skills. Prepare the employees to perform other jobs so they won't get bored being stuck in doing the same monotonous task every day. Break up the routine. The routine should be cut down into flexible working hours. It's time, sometimes you should include fun activities into that, ensuring that everyone's on the break and don't give them additional tasks. And last but not the least, you have to hire the appropriate person, right person for the right job. Make sure that employees believe that the work and the environment are cut out for him or her. So this is how boredom can be reduced. Usually resignations and all happen because there is boredom, and there are low performers because of boredom. So therefore these strategies might help to avoid boredom. The next topic is fatigue. What is fatigue? Okay, so let us start. Fatigue is a negative appetite for work activity. It is nothing but decreased in power to work. It leads to loss of efficiency. It results in more or less complete loss of responsiveness of tissue. It may be termed as a reduced capacity of work resulting from work itself. It is considered as a state of lack of interest in not only work but in other activities too. It is nothing but it is related to the mental status of a person. One person may not be tired even after long hours of work, whereas the other person may feel fatigued or tired even after few hours of work. Some persons may feel fresh after a shorty relaxation during working periods, while others may not regain energy even after longer rest. A number of factors such as aptitude, interest, nature of job work environment, or working conditions influence the mind of the employees. So therefore, fatigue is nothing but it is lack of interest. So what are the various types of fatigue? First one is physical fatigue, second one is mental fatigue, nervous fatigue, and industrial fatigue. Physical fatigue is caused either by continuous work for long periods or the nature of work, like the work may be heavy and requires lot of physical exertion. The physical capacities of workers or employees are limited and they may feel tired after a continuous work for longer periods. Mental fatigue. A worker utilizes his brain or mind for doing a job for a longer period. Doing the same work again and again will result in mental fatigue of workers. Nervous fatigue. When work needs the use of mental and physical capabilities for a continuous period, it will result in nervous fatigue. Next one is industrial fatigue. When an employee continues to work the job for longer periods, his efficiency and productivity will result in a fatigue called industrial fatigue. So these are the various types of fatigue. Going further, let us understand what causes fatigue, what causes disinterest among the employees. First one is longer working hours of continuous work without rest, without pauses may cause fatigue because the muscles in the body of the employees or workers will be tired after the long work. Second one is unsatisfactory working conditions. Unsatisfactory working environment or the conditions like insufficient lighting or illumination, insanitation, congestion, noise, elevated temperatures, these could be the reasons for unsatisfactory working conditions. Then comes the other personal reasons which could be associated with the employees or individual level, like family tension, bad health, or any such causes. And then the next one is complexity in processes. If the machines or equipments are not properly designed, there may be a faulty design, there could be something, equipment is of waste, or the complexity of production process may also lead the employees or workers to fatigue. Workers not properly placed, that is what, the workers may not be placed properly on jobs as per their skill levels. Then attitude issues. When there is attitude problems or personality issues among the individuals, then there will be fatigue among the workers. Then poor posture of workers. Inconvenient and awkward posture of workers standing or bending for longer hours may also cause fatigue. So these are the various causes of fatigue among the employees or workers in an industrial setup. Going further, let us now understand how to reduce fatigue. A fatigue worker will not be able to work with his original rhythm. Every industrial enterprise is expected to devise ways and means of reducing fatigue so that production does not suffer for longer periods. So therefore, these are the few strategies devised to reduce fatigue and bring freshness to workers. The first one is rest pauses. Second one is less hours of week. Third one, proper lighting. Fourth one, improving environmental conditions, humidity, temperature, ventilation, etc. Reduction of noise, proper selection of employees, job rotation, counseling of employees. First one is rest pauses. When workers continue to work for longer periods, then they feel tired and need some rest. Rest pauses are of great importance in reducing fatigue as well as monotony. Rest pauses should be provided in such a way that workers feel relieved after working for some hours. A well-planned rest pauses schedule will be of great help in reducing fatigue. Second one is less hours of work. Longer hours of work are the main cause of fatigue. The hours of work should be reduced to that optimum level where workers are able to keep up their working speed. The Factories Act in India allows only 48 hours a week for adult workers and it should be followed strictly. The Third one is proper lighting or illumination, which is an important cause of disturbance and fatigue. The workplace should be properly lighted so that workers are able to work without burdening their eyesight and brain. Fourth one is improving environmental conditions. Conditions like humidity, temperature, ventilation, sanitation, etc. influence the workers. A proper balance of all these factors to make the workplace comfortable and worth working so that the fatigue can be avoided among employees. Next one is reduction of noise. Undesirable noise will also cause fatigue. So unnecessary noise should be curbed at the minimum level. Lower noise levels increases productivity of workers by reducing fatigue and also reduces irritation. Next one is proper selection of employees. Selection of employees and their placement is very crucial to avoid fatigue and monotony. A job may require more physical input than worker has. In such situations, the worker will feel fatigue after short duration of work. Next is job rotation. Sometimes workers start feeling bored and tired while working repeatedly the same work. So if job rotation is provided, you will avoid boredom. Job rotation is nothing but giving different tasks to the same individual. Last one is counseling of employees. Anxieties and worries may be the main cause of fatigue with some workers. There may be job dissatisfaction, domestic problem issues, and the officers of the personnel department should counsel the employees and help them in solving their issues. So therefore, these are the various ways of reducing fatigue. Now, this is all about fatigue and boredom. And see, when an employee is not feeling like working, if he's dissatisfied, then it will either lead to boredom, fatigue, or it may lead to accidents. So the next topic today we are going to do is accident. What are accidents? And we are going to learn types of accidents, causes of accidents, individual factors, psychological factors, and how to prevent, the steps involved in preventing accidents. So what are accident? Accident is an unplanned and uncontrolled event which causes an injury. Accident is an event that suddenly occurs when one or number of employees or workers placed in the plant get injured. An accident is a sudden and unexpected occurrence in industry which interrupts the orderly progress of the work. According to Factories Act, it is an occurrence in an industrial establishment causing bodily injury to a person who makes him unfit to resume his duties in the next 48 hours. What is injury then? Industrial injury can be defined as a personal injury to an employee which has been caused by an accident or an occupational disease and which arises out of or in the course of employment and which could entitle such employee to compensation under Workmen's Compensation Act of 1923. So when an injury occurs in an industry, then the injured employee is subject to compensation. He will be compensated because he has been caused injury. Sometimes the injury could be a minor injury or a major injury or internal or external. So it depends on the type of accident, what type of injury he has got. So what are the category of accidents? Categories: minor accidents, where there is minor injury to the individual and it need not be reported. Reportable accidents are accidents which are to be reported to claim the compensation. Fatal accidents are accidents that lead to death of the employee and which are very critical consequences. And the next one is accidents due to dangerous occurrence. Okay, so accident, these are the various classification of accidents, but then accidents can be internal or external. It could be major or minor. It could be fatal or cause disability. It could be temporary or permanent disability. So therefore, these are the various types of accidents. Going further, let us now understand what are the causes of accidents. There are three types of factors which cause accident: mechanical factors, environmental factors, and human factors. First one is mechanical factors. This includes unsafe mechanical design and construction, hazards arrangement, improper machine guarding, defective devices, improper material handling, leaking, improper maintenance. So all these are mechanical factors. Environmental factors. Sometimes it could be high or very low temperatures. Humidity, high or low humidity can cause fatigue or drowsiness, or defective and illumination, inadequate rest and breaks between working hours, poor housekeeping, noise, bad odor, flash coming from nearby machinery. All these are nothing but various environmental factors, or it could be external factors. Then human factors. Human factors could be age, health, lack of knowledge, skills, improper attitude, emotional instability, mental worries, working and at unsafe speed, and improper use of tools. So these could be the various causes of accidents and industries. So these are few the various categories of causes of accidents. So what are the individual factors in accidents? Individual factors are factors that occur at individual level or personal level. So here when you look at individual factors, first one is personal characteristic. Personal characteristic includes age, health, yeah, which include age, health, and various other factors like, just a second, it personal characteristics that includes personality, intelligence, motivation, sensory skills, perception, cognitive skills, processes, physiological processes, responses, motor skills, experience, etc. These are all personal characteristics which could cause accidents. Predisposing behavior tendencies, that is, undesirable attitudes, habits, lack of specific abilities, tendencies to assume risk. The next one is potential accident behavior, inattention, forgetfulness, perception errors, recognition errors, decision errors, performance errors. And the last one is incidence of specific accident behavior, probability, rate of individuals accident behavior. So these are the various ways how factors that affect accidents. But then vision, age and length of services, and perceptual and motor relationships could also be few reasons for accidents, individual reasons. Going further, let us understand what are the psychological intervention strategies. Personal selection and placement, safety training, persuasion and propaganda, committees, rewards, management support, and events and contests. So the selection of individuals should be carefully done, as it is related to the right people at right job. So certain test of vision, psychomotor test, all these can be done so that the right candidate is selected and placed at the right job. Safety training, many authors have said that training is very important to avoid possible accidents. So proper attitudes towards safety practices should also be developed through training programs. Training programs need not be only for new employees, but is required for current employees too. The best technique of training is the programmed instruction, which is found to be highly effective. Safety training is one method of reducing accidents, minimizing hazards at workplace, and also publicity of safety method. Safety programs are provided to the employees. It can result in saving a lot of expenditure for the organization. Next one is persuasion and propaganda. Different types of persuasion and propaganda like posters, placards can be used during the training programs to inculcate the safe behavior. Use of sound premises based on known cause and effect relationship. Use of various media. Use of direct approach in campaigning, like showing specific points rather than being general. Making sure that the appeal pertains to the person to whom it is directed. Next one is committees. More and more safety committees to be formulated. Both management and union officials should realize the importance and strive for improving the joint safety committees. Next one is rewards. Presenting rewards to employees who practice good safety measures does reduce accidents. Organizations should realize it is better to train or transfer the employees to a safer job than when they are highly in accident prone area. Next one is management support. There should be management support in terms of providing safety to the employees. Contest events and contests, when some competition between plants or workers is planned, was found to be effective, so that they'll be psychologically motivated to do the work and avoid boredom and frustration, which could lead to accidents. So these are few psychological intervention strategies to avoid accidents. Now let us look at the various steps to prevent accidents. The first one is proper safety measures should be adopted to avoid accidents. The government should also provide guidelines for enacting measures for checking accidents. These should be properly followed. Second one is proper selection of workers. And third one is safety conscious. Safety measures to be followed. Proper working slogan advices to be considered for the workers to make them conscious of the safety hazards related to the work they are doing. Enforcement of discipline. Disciplinary action should be taken against those who flout safety measures. There may be negative punishments like warnings, payoffs, terminations, etc. Incentives. Workers should be given incentives if they maintain safety. They should be rewarded monetarily or maybe non-monetarily. Then safety committees should be installed. Proper maintenance of machines and equipments is important because there actually the accidents might occur. So there should be proper maintenance of machines and regularly checked and frequently inspected. Safety training. Training procedures to be implemented so that training programs ensure that the employees get to know about the measures to be taken while working on machines. They should be knowing the hazards of the machines, the areas of accident proneness, and the good working possible precautions in case of some accidents. Know the hazards. To reduce the risk of work related injury or illness, employees or workers should know the particular hazards of the job or workplace. Reduce workplace stress. Job stress has been linked to health problems, higher healthcare cost, increased risk of workplace accident, and more. The management should take steps to prevent stress from interfering with employees' productivity, health, and well-being. And last one is they should also pay attention to ergonomics. The design of the office, the design of the factory, the design of the production process should be maintained so that a neutral posture can be maintained by the employees, which can be very easily accessible and therefore reduce a kind of dissatisfaction among employees, which may lead to boredom or frustration or maybe accident. So these are the various steps involved in prevention of accidents. So therefore with this we finish our second unit of industrial psychology. So let us sum up. So what we have done today, we have discussed about the definition of boredom, causes of boredom, why employees feel bored, what are the consequences of boredom, how to overcome boredom. Then we discussed the concept called fatigue, types of fatigue, causes of fatigue, how to reduce fatigue. Then we discussed accidents, the definition of accidents. Okay, then what are the various categories of accidents and also types of accidents, what causes accidents, reasons for accidents, then individual factors in accident occurrence, psychological intervention strategies that could reduce accidents, and these are the various steps involved in preventing accidents. So therefore with this we finish our second unit. Thank you very much.